Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, understood. Welcome to round 3 of the FIM Sidecar World Championship. 3 very different circuits in 3 different nations, taking us through the first phase of the 2024 season. We started, of course, at the Bugatti circuit at Le Mans. We then moved on to the Sachsenring, and now we are at Most, a polar opposite challenge, really, from the Sachsenring. While the Sachsenring is predominantly right-hand corners, it's a very different circuit. This is the standings at the moment in the championship. Harrison Payne and Kevin Rousseau come in on top, 75 points in their favour at the moment. That's courtesy of 3 race victories, including 2 last time out at the Sachsenring. Markus Schlosser in second place along with Luca Schmidt there. The Christies in third. Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement, the defending champions, in fourth position. Paver Inter and Christie fifth. And then it's Ted and Vincent Peugeot, who will also lead the IDM Championship, the German Championship standings. Stroher and Kulsch, Gutlick and Craig, Leglis and Cescuti, Weissen and Salmon rounding out the top 10 of the championship at this stage. For Payne and Rousseau, the only time things went against them was in race 2 at Le Mans, and that was an issue with the machine rather than their own form. The Steinhausen racing bike has looked incredibly fast so far this season. They are second on the grid today, behind Schlosser and Schmidt. And as I understand it, in qualifying 2 a little bit earlier on in the day, they were using old tyres, so perhaps not a true reflection of their pace, but it will be promising for Markus Schlosser and Luca Schmidt to find themselves on the front row of the grid. As I was alluding to previously, this is a very different challenge from the circuit we visited just a few weeks ago. Of course, Sachsenring, I should say predominantly left-handers, but what really makes that one a physical challenge, in particular for the passengers and also to an extent for the drivers, is the undulation, the compressions, the up and down nature of the Sachsenring. This is a relatively flat circuit, Autodrom Most, but it's got 21 corners packed into its approximately 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles, and that means that those passengers are having to switch from side to side to side all throughout this race. Payne and Rousseau second on the grid then, our championship leaders at this stage. They'll be looking to have a good effort in this race from the inside of the front row, so if they do get a good start on the approach to turn 1, that will do them some favours. Looks like there might be a little bit of a wardrobe issue going on there at the moment that hopefully they can solve in due course. Sam and Tom Christie, third fastest. They were a 1:42.002 in qualifying. Both of the times from the front row of the grid in that mid 1:41 bracket, so on pure pace they perhaps have a little bit to look for here on the Hannafin backed machine. They also discovered a small water leak after qualifying too, as I understand it, but they'll hopefully have identified that problem, and now they are there on the second row of the grid, and they're joined by Benny Stroyer and Kevin Kolsch. Great to see them all the way up in 4th position. They are the only team not in the championship top 5 on the first 3 rows of the grid, so all of our championship top 5 are there in the first 6 positions on this grid here at Most. This lap will go 10 laps, so a relatively short, sharp sprint race. Of course, the Saturday SuperSide Sprintrace. A little bit less work for the Hoosier tyres, a little bit less work for the competitors. It's a very hot, muggy weekend here at Most. But for the likes of Pekka Pavarinta, who's gone well here before, that could perhaps be a little bit of a help. Pekka Pavarinta and Adam Christie, both very experienced, and from 5th on the grid, they could certainly be challenging for a podium in this first race. Behind them is where we find the defending champions, Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement, just off of their Isle of Man TT debuts, actually. Had really good pace, mixed form, of course, in the races themselves. They were the cause of a red flag in race 2, but they were both okay, thankfully, and they return to the FIM Sidecar World Championship paddock now, looking to get some points on the board. It doesn't seem like it's been a particularly comfortable machine for them so far this season. Let's see if Ellis and Clement can find something special. It was last year here that the Birchall brothers fought Ellis and Clement to the very last corner here at Autodrom Most. One of the most spectacular final laps we've seen in recent times in the FIM Sidecar World Championship. This is a circuit that suits Todd Ellis's style. Obviously, you've got that deep braking zone into turn 1, and he's always the last of the late breakers. The hairpin at the bottom end of the circuit, also a favoured overtaking opportunity. We saw that for him last year. Let's see if Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement can get some solid points on the board as they try and defend their title. Verkstetter and Pirat on the 4th row of the grid on the number 35 machine. They'll be joined on row 4 by the Peugeots. A Bonovo Action backed bike, of course. Bonovo Action Sattler Motorsport entry. Everyone on this grid powered by the same motor, the 600cc unit from Yamaha, a mix of different chassis, LCRs and ARS chassis. This is one of the LCR machines. It's actually a healthy mix of LCR and ARS. Schlosser and Schmidt are running an LCR chassis. Payne and Rousseau, second on the grid, running ARS. The Christies on an LCR. The Stroyer and Kolsch combination, an ARS. Another ARS for Pavarinta and Christie. And Ellis and Clement using their LCR chassis as well. So that means that we've got an even split in the first 3 rows in terms of the chassis battle. And in fact, that even split continues all the way down the top 10. We've got one of each on each row of the grid. So an even split, even though everyone seems to have agreed on an engine. There is the start gantry here at Autodrom Most. Of course, this circuit with so much history on 2 wheels, 3 wheels, and indeed 4 wheels. And it has been a very exciting venue for the FIM Sidecar World Championship. We saw it again last year, some brilliant battles, some unexpected leaders as well, some very good dogfights. I seem to remember we had at least 5 fighting for the lead at one point in race 2 last year. There are the British Championship leaders, the Laidlows, hopping aboard their 84 machine. Current British Championship leaders just secured a double win last time out in the British Championship. Let's see what they can do here. Schlosser and Schmidt on pole position then alongside Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau. Sam and Tom Christie next alongside Stroyer and Gulch on row 2 of the grid. Row 3, Pavarinta and Christie, Ellis and Clement. Then it's Werkstetter and Pirat alongside Ted and Vincent Peugeot, the current German Championship leaders, looking to get some good points on the board here in the World Championship as well. Rounding out the top 10 with Gottlieb and Krieg and the Laidlows. Then it's Leglis and Jescuti, Weissen and Salmon on the 6th row of the grid. A total of 17 set to take the start here. Archer and Hofer, a new passenger there for Archer. Cable and Richardson, Venus and Sedlacek, Vinet and Marcel. And then Gilles and Cornel rounding out the 17 bike starting order for this one. Onto their formation lap, trying to build some heat into these tyres. Make sure that everything's okay if you've had any concerns prior to the race. Previous sessions, it's your last opportunity to really try and figure out if they're still there. I know that the team of Pekka Pavarinta and Adam Christie were changing the gearing on their machine overnight. But that didn't seem to pay dividends in Quali 2, so we'll see whether they've gone back to that or not in due course. The FIM Sidecar World Championship Facebook page brings insight into what's going on in the paddock. I'm sure information will come in on that basis regarding whether the Pavarinta and Christie duo have changed their gearing once more or not for this race. You see now, if you've never seen this Autodrom Moss circuit before, just how much scything through, how much change of direction there is on this circuit, just left to right and right to left and back again. It's a very challenging facility, that much is for certain. Great to see the number 3 back this year. We didn't have Schlosser and Schmidt during 2023. A welcome return to the grid in 2024. I'm not sure that a full season was necessarily on the cards when they arrived to Le Mans, but the positive results certainly proved to be too good to ignore for Schlosser and Schmidt, and they're now seemingly primary championship challengers, but they've got their championship leaders alongside them for this race. Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau line up alongside Schlosser and Schmidt on the front row of the grid. Will it be one of those two that gets the whole shot into turn 1? Could we see a surprise package from the 2nd row of the grid? Perhaps the Christies can get the power down best as we go racing. It will be 10 laps. This race will go no more than 16 or 17 minutes, so it's going to be an all-out sprint, the SuperSide Sprint here at the Autodrom Moss. The last of the bikes just making their way to their grid slots now. The flag will wave at the back of the grid. And then, with the marshal pointing towards the gantry, we now focus on the lights. The lights are out and we are underway. It's a good start from all three in the top three positions. Streuer and Kolsch bogged down a little bit though. They could lose out on fourth position, but it's Schlosser and Schmidt that lead the way as we run down to turn one for the first time. Payne and Rousseau, though, look a lot more confident. Around the outside they go, and immediately the team of Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau move up to the lead. Steinhausen Racing in P1. That was supreme confidence around the outside at the first corner. Looked as though Schlosser and Schmidt had cooler tyres to me. It just looked like there was no grip from the number 3 going through the first corner, but now up to racing speed. A lock up further back as well. Goodness me, that's a very sideways moment, and a collision as well. Cable and Richardson involved with that, Archer as well. I think everybody kept going, but that was a bit of a nasty stack up there on the first lap, but all parties seem to have made it through the first sector, which is good news. One of the Bonovo action bikes there, diving to the inside as they go under the bridge. Didn't quite catch the number on that, but I think it was Gottlieb Price number 42, perhaps making a move on the Peugeots there. The Steinhausen Racing Machine already a couple of bike lengths clear here. Ellis and Clement looking feisty behind the fourth place runner, Pavarinta and Christie. There's the recovering number 70 machine as well, so that is indeed still running. The new Swiss passenger, at least new to Hannafin Racing, Swiss passenger Thomas Hofer there, along with driver Rupert Archer. Through this treacherous first chicane they go, the top 5 breaking away. Ellis trying to straighten up his exit out of the corner to get a good run. Looks like third place might be slowing down there. I think the Christies may have missed a gear, and sure enough, 2 positions changing hands in the back of shot there. So the Christies, I think, are down to 5th position because Pavarinta and Christie went by, and I think Ellis and Clement made it by as well. We just saw it in the back of shot, but we really need to look at 3rd position because that's where there was a change taking place. Let's hopefully get a good look at it now. Yes, it is the Christies through into 3rd, but actually Ellis and Clement remain behind, or did the Christies hold on to 3rd place? Either way, they lost a lot of momentum coming out of the first chicane as if they had missed a gear, but they are still there in 3rd position. I thought that at least Pavarinta and Adam Christie had gotten past, of course Adam Christie being the brother to the pair on the Hannafin machine, but no, actually. So the Hannafin bike, despite being slow out of the first chicane, is still there in 3rd place. But Pavarinta and indeed Todd Ellis putting pressure on. A little bit further back behind them is Werkstetter and Pirat, Streuer and Kolsch all the way down to 7th in the early going. In fact, I think they've dropped further still. So the Team Streuer Racing Machine not having a good start. Here comes Todd Ellis though. Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement to the inside line as we begin another lap of this race, and who's going to be in 4th position? It is going to be Ellis and Clement who get through into 4th place. So a nice move up the inside, got a great run out of the last corner. And Ellis and Clement showing that race pace. The 1 lap pace certainly hasn't been with them so far this weekend. Hasn't really been with them so far this season. Unquestionably not quite the same machine underneath them they had last year. There's just some magic adjustment that they haven't yet been able to find. There's the 21 of Streuer and Kolsch remaining in 7th place. But given the 4th position on the starting grid, they'll be disappointed if that's where they finish this one. We're on lap 4 of this race already. It's gone very quickly, but lap 4 we are indeed on. Hannafin machine powering through 18 and 19, the 2 kinks. Of course, that's completely flat out, but they are listed as corners. No less than 21 of them on this layout. Payne and Rousseau have built a significant lead over Schlosser and Schmidt. Well, perhaps significant isn't the word, but at the very least it's a comfortable lead. It's been around about a second for the last couple of laps. In fact, it's come down 0.8 of a second. Also coming down quickly is the gap between the 35 and the 21. Team Stroyer racing to the inside. Stroyer and Kolsch looking to the inside there at turn 1. In fact, get it done long before the apex of the corner. Nice going, although the 21's body looked loose there. You saw in front of the passenger area just flapping away the wheel arch. Hopefully that doesn't affect the machine too much from a performance standpoint, or indeed just in terms of keeping the tyre inflated there. How that was picked up, I'm not too sure where that damage originates, but there certainly is a little bit of damage. That hasn't stopped them from moving up to P6, though, ahead of Werkstetter and Pirat. You see the replay and just getting a closer look there at the bodywork flapping. It is interfering with the tyre carcass, I think, a little bit there. That could be a problem. Thankfully, this is only a 10-lapper, but I don't know if that's going to go the distance. 35 there. Getting very airborne, or at least at one corner getting airborne. Saw a move on further back. I think Ted and Vincent Peugeot looking to the inside of L'Eglise and Jess Couty in the back of this 4-bike train. The Peugeots, French father-son duo keeping an eye on this battle ahead of them. Here comes L'Eglise and Jess Couty. The 5-2-1 competition machine to the inside. And makes it through, gets past the Bonovo action. Number 35. L'Eglise and Jess Couty with a very strong move there into the first corner. That's where all the overtakes are happening. The effect of that slipstream on the run down to the first corner is significant. And indeed, the effect of just nailing the apex on that last corner. Get your power down. It's such an important part of the circuit, the final turn. It's also important here at the hairpin not to drift too wide. Thankfully, Paul L'Eglise just about managed to control that. Marjorie Chescuti riding shotgun. And look at that, 3 outfits at war there for 7th position at the moment. Upper hand with L'Eglise and Chescuti, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Gap between our leaders last time by was down again, 0.641 of a second. It was trending upward, the gap between the top 2 in the first few laps of the race, but the gap is now coming back down. Schlosser and Schmidt were 0.641 of a second apart last time across the line. Let's see what it is at the end of this lap. They begin lap 7 with just over half a second between them, so by no means is the Team Schlosser outfit out of this race. Payne and Rousseau will be feeling that pressure from behind. Fastest laps of the race currently belong to Schlosser and Schmidt, actually, a 141.441. There is the 21 in 6th position, quite a way off of Pavarinta and Christie in 5th place. I think that quite possibly this is the ceiling in this race, in the SuperSide Sprint race for the 21 outfit. Not sure how Benny and Kevin will feel about that, but they'll get the chance to rally again, of course, from the second row of the grid. The grid remains the same for race 2. I get the feeling, though, that this is all trending towards close battle at the finish of this race, because once again, this time quite obviously, visibly closer, is the number 3. In fact, I'm not sure we're waiting until the end. Markus Schlosser and Luca Schmidt are right there with Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau, just 3 points apart in the championship, lest we forget these two outfits marking themselves out as potential championship standouts in this early part of the season. The slipstream once again favouring the Swiss outfit, and through into the lead they go. Do they get it stopped? Oh, Payne and Rousseau late on the brakes around the outside for the second time in this race. Harry Payne is brave around the outside. I thought that Schmidt had done enough there. Luca Schmidt and Markus Schlosser, I thought they'd done enough. Schlosser, of course, at the controls. But on this occasion, Payne and Rousseau once again find the late braking magic. Lap 8 of the race, and a statement of intent made by Schlosser and Schmidt. Schlosser, of course, the 2021 world champion. Highly experienced competitor. North of 50 years old, still razor sharp at the controls. The first Swiss sidecar world champion since 1994, when he secured that 2021 title. And while Payne and Rousseau don't have world championships behind them personally, the two-time world champion, three-time TT winner Rolf Steinhausen is, of course, behind this Steinhausen racing team. Turning through turns 20 and 21 they go. Can Schlosser and Schmidt get the toe once again? Certainly. It looks like they've got a good run, a remarkable run out of the final corner. Once again, they're going to look to the inside this time. They're going to be further past before they put the anchors on. Will it be a change for the lead this time? Surely they've done enough. Payne and Rousseau to the inside this time. Third time's the charm, or perhaps not. Oh, through goes Schlosser and Schmidt. Great racing between them. Payne and Rousseau got it done on the inside. Managed to get the lead back, but only momentarily. Drifted out wide for turn 2. And Schlosser and Schmidt barged through that open door. Based on the race pace that we've seen, I just wonder if that proves to be the definitive move of the race. You see it again. Locking up there. Payne and Rousseau, a bit of muscling going on there. And then went out wide at turn 2. I think trying to cut back more than anything. Trying to get a good run out of the corner, but that did not work out. Did leave the door very open. There was a little bit of contact at the turn 1 apex. Whether or not that was gentlemanly or a mistake, I'm not quite sure. But the upshot is that the Gust Oil back machine, the number 3 of Schlosser and Schmidt, leads the SuperSide Sprint on the penultimate lap of the race. We've got 1 lap to go this time by. Payne and Rousseau definitely not close enough to take advantage of the slipstream to try and make a move into turn 1. They're going to need a spectacular final lap here to have any shot of victory. As we cross the line to begin at the final lap, the gap is out to 0.8 of a second. The Christies watch on from P3. Can they perhaps challenge? They're closer to Payne and Rousseau than Payne and Rousseau are to the leading. Oh. The fastest outfit on the circuit is the Schlosser-Schmidt combination, a 1:41.441 set on lap 3 of this race. Given how quickly that lead has expanded, surely they can get this one home. Half a lap between themselves and a second victory of the season. Win number 1 came at Le Mans. Other than that, it has been Payne and Rousseau in control of the top step of the podium this year. double wins at Sachsenring. It's not going to be double for Payne and Rousseau this weekend, though, because Schlosser and Schmidt head towards the penultimate corner, still in the lead. And while the race victories have still been shared across just 2 outfits, those 2 outfits will switch positions in the championship. Markus Schlosser and Lukas Schmidt cross the line, and with that, by my maths, they will just about retake the championship lead from Payne and Rousseau, who finish in 2nd place. The Christies take 3rd. Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement with a solid 4th place finish from 6th on the grid. Haverinter and Christie take 5th ahead of Stroyer and Kolsch. Then it will be Ted and Vincent Peugeot across the line in 7th place. Leglis and Chescuti should still be there in 8th position as well. In fact, no, Vyson and Salmon on the final lap of the race managed to move up to 8th place, so that's a good result from them. Leglis and Chescuti will finish 9th. Gutlig and Craig on the Bonovo Action Junior Team entry, the 42, rounding out your top 10. But winner, once again, Markus Schlosser, Lukas Schmidt. Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau will be happy enough with 2nd place. They gave it everything. Harry Payne did everything in his power to try and hold on to that lead. He lost it on a couple of occasions in that battle with Schmidt and Schlosser. But it was Markus Schlosser eventually, the veteran instincts paying off. And that number 3 looking very fast at this stage of the weekend. The LCR Yamaha claiming a win. It'll be 2 LCRs on the podium. The Christies also on an LCR chassis. A lot of positives to take away from that race for quite a few of our combatants, but Schlosser and Schmidt with a full haul of points, winning by 0.8 of a second over Harry Payne, Kevin Rousseau. The Christies in 3rd. Ellis and Clement in 4th place, ahead of Pavarinta and Christie. Stroyer and Kolsch, a fairly lonely race, ultimately in 6th, ahead of the Peugeots. Vyton and Salmon, Leglis and Chescuti, Gutlig and Craig, Verkstetter and Pirat in 11th place. Archer and Hofer in 12th place. The Laidlows down to 13th from 10th on the grid. Cable and Richardson next. Venus and Sedlacek in 15th. Vinette, Marcel, Lejeune and Cornel rounding out your 17 strong finishing order. Everyone that started got to the end of that race. Testament to the professionalism of the outfits in the FIM Sidecar World Championship paddock, and that championship battle between the number 3 and the number 45 is very, very intriguing. And if I get my maths right here, I think that the lead will have switched, and it will be 2 points in favour of the Schlosser-Schmidt entry now. Going into our final race of the weekend, of course, we'll be racing again on the Sunday. And on the Sunday, the length of the race goes up. It will be a feature-length race a little bit earlier in the programme as well. Of course, we are running alongside the IDM German Championships, and we'll be running a little bit earlier in the day for race number 2, which is due to get started around 12:20 in the Moss time zone, which means that if you're based in the UK, of course, an hour earlier than that. So a bit of a late morning sidecar action for us in Britain. Full paddock, of course, as always, across the various IDM categories. Some wonderful shots from the drone, as always, as the Sidecar World Championship teams pull up, hopefully somewhere near the podium. We always intend to show the podium, although they didn't actually find us before the end of the broadcast at the Sachsenring last time out. But a very positive day for Markus Schlosser and Luca Schmidt. Surprising still to see that Ellis and Clement haven't found that last step yet this year to regain their form of old. A fourth place finish is a solid result by all means. But they know what they're capable of. They remember last year just as we do. And they'll be scratching their heads overnight, trying to find that last step as they try and retain their champions and become three-time FIM Sidecar World Champions, of course, winners in 2022, winners in 2023. I think fairly unquestionably, in terms of the World Championship, Emmanuel Clement, the most successful female passenger of all time. And that duo certainly will be back on the top step, but it's a question of when they'll be on the top step. How long will they have left in the championship when the cards start to fall in their favour again? It was only 10 laps of racing, but it was 10 laps with plenty of action. And we are now going to take a look at the highlights from race 1. And there we go. Winners once again, the yellow and black outfit, and quite relieved on reflection to see that Stroring Kolsch made the flag with that damage. It was purely cosmetic, but it was a bit too close to the tyre for my liking. They did indeed reach the flag, as did everybody in that race. 100% finishing rate. Our championship top two, finishing top two in the race, in the order in which they qualified as well, or even though the Steinhausen Racing pairing took that early lead, seemingly had more temperature in the Hoosier tyres through the first couple of corners, but the superior race pace of Schlosser and Schmidt proved to be too much for the Steinhausen Racing pair to overcome. There you see the winning outfit. And indeed, its driver looking fairly chill after that race in these very sweltering conditions at Most. I would think he might look a bit more spent than that, but these are supreme athletes as well. They will be tested tomorrow when the race distance goes up. I don't think the conditions are due to change, particularly on Sunday. We did have some rain overnight at Most, but conditions on Saturday resplendent. To keep an eye on those weather radars. Will there be a twist in the tail from Mother Nature? I think we'll get through purely in the sun, but whoever quite knows. Some debrief there from Markus Schlosser. Exemplary race from him, patient race as well. He knew as well as anybody in that definitive move of the race, he knew that Payne and Rousseau would dive to the inside.
Guys,
let it happen.
And we are starting here with the first interview. Open. Normally we start with the third place, but these guys are still on their way here, so we start with the winner. So in reverse. So guys, it was a brilliant race, spectacular. And how do you feel? How was this first victory on this Saturday?
Yes, especially for me, with him. No, the race is good. The start perfect, and the first corner, Harry come with the brick, and yeah, no, absolutely. And the end when you can first, perfect.
Look, what was your impression?
Deutsch, bitte.
No, we have to do it in English, so it's not a problem. So, but at the end, you had a great race, right?
Yeah, I have a great race.
Oh, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, thank you guys, and see you in a short while on the podium. Big applause for the winner. So if we have probably our guys from Steinhausen Racing here, or probably also from the Hannafin teams, Sam and Tom Christie, are they here? If not, oh yeah, they're here. So please, big applause for these guys. So guys, it was a really tough race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tough. We just missed a gear on, I think, the second lap and just lost the toe from the front two, but managed to regain ourselves and just seeing the front two battling away and just creeping up there slowly, but not quite enough laps left, so we'll give it another go tomorrow.
That's what I think too, so probably you have another chance in the huge race tomorrow?
Yeah, it'd be a bit more tyre management in that with the heat and the distance of the race. So yeah, it'll be. I'm looking forward to getting going tomorrow.
This what we are all looking forward to. Thank you guys. Big applause here in the podium. So and also now the second of this race are just in front of us. So guys, just come up to me, please. Harry Payne, Kevin Rousseau. Big applause for you two. So Harry, you know he would come, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a rocket ship, so it was coming at some point. But yeah, unfortunately, we had a couple of coming together. We had different braking markers, and he braked a little bit early when he was right in front of me. And yeah, it looks a bit more worse than it was, but it just wrecked my sort of rhythm there. I was stuck in fourth gear in the second corner, and he's gone. But apart from that, we show we're riding really well, and you can't be too displeased with the second place. Yeah, that's it really. Just thanks to everyone who makes it happen for us.
Kevin, another strategy for tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gonna try to attack more every lap, and then yeah, we try to to finish on the top of the step. But the speed of his bike, it's very fast, so we try to do our best.
Thank you guys. See you on the podium just in a while.
Interesting insight there. So stuck in fourth.
And of course, we are immediately starting here with the third place. Coming into the first race on the Saturday from the team Hannafin, Tom and Sam Christie. Great race, guys. Thank you so much. A little bit faster than these two guys were the number 45 here from the Steinhausen Racing, Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau. Congrats, guys, for this huge battle. And the winner of today's race is the number 3 with Markus Schlosser and Luca Schmidt. And for sure, we are getting your prizes for today, which will be handled out for the third place from Yannick Kaufmann, the promoter and representative of the Motorpresse IDM, for our Team Hannafin, Tom and Sam Christie. second place will be handled out by our FMNR delegated Dushana Harvanova. For the guys from Steinhausen Racing, number 45, Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau. And himself, the FIM jury president, Reggio Bulscu, is handling out is to the winner of the first race, here with the number 3, Markus Schlosser and Lukas Schmidt from Team Schlosser. A huge congrats, guys, and definitely to honor you, you will hear right now the national anthem.
The anthem's complete, they will spray the champagne. Schlosser and Schmidt take their second win of the season on what Harry Payne called a rocket ship. Can they outblast the rocket ship on Sunday? Join us to find out with more action of the FIM Sidecar World Championship here at Most.
Und jetzt geht's selbstverständlich